The second you start to say, oh, I just feel a little tired today, I'm going to skip the gym, I'll go tomorrow. You start doing that. Or, I worked hard yesterday, I'm going to do a couple less exercises and I'm just going to go on the treadmill today. This is like a cancerous mindset. You need to cut that out, because you start giving into that, you're always going to look for reasons to do less. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house. I'm very excited for this episode, and today we're actually going to be talking about 10 main reasons you may not be seeing results. And this is actually inspired from a gentleman that I had recently spoken to in a meeting, and he's been struggling for many, many years now. And what I noticed was a lot of these things here were consistently showing up in his journey, what he was struggling with, and some common patterns that I've noticed from his struggles with a lot of people who have come into our program right before they started and before they started to see results. Now, the one thing I want to say is there's 3 common groups that this will be broken down into. The first thing is going to be nutrition. Next up is going to be training. And you're going to want to make sure to stay to the very end where we talk about mindset, accountability, and all that stuff, because I feel like for most people, that's actually one of the biggest things that's holding them back. So make sure to stay to the end. We have some amazing things to talk about and some tips to help you out as well. But first off, one of the things that a lot of people struggle with is nutrition, of course. Now, I wanted to start by saying the first category here with the nutrition is just not being aware of your actual numbers. The amount of people I talk to who are trying to make better decisions, who are trying to lose weight, lose fat, build muscle, and actually have no idea what their numbers look like, how much protein they're having, how much fiber they're having. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. Like, I'll have tons of conversations with people at the gym, people before they sign up for our coaching program, random people who are asking different questions at barbecues or whatever when they notice that I'm a fitness coach. And it's just like nobody actually knows the data. And I was even having a conversation with this gentleman who's actually very well off. He's doing very well with his business and everything like that. And I was trying to say, you know what? It's like finances, right? Like, this gentleman pays a lot of attention to his finances, what goes in, what goes out, his savings, his investments, everything like that. I'm like, if you just went about your day and your entire year within just the finance side of things, not caring, you'd probably be mind blown at some of the things taking place. So you have to be aware as to what's going in your body nutritionally. This alone, if you were to pay attention to it, could solve so many different problems. And it's the thing I find a lot of people are struggling with.
The next up is just lying to yourself about your food intake. So this can look a lot of different ways. This can be inaccuracy with your tracking, no tracking at all, giving yourself too much of the benefit of the doubt. The amount of people I know, and I think a great example of this, who want to put on muscle, they'll be younger dudes. They're like, hey, I want to put on muscle. I'm bulking. I eat everything. Like, I'm a beast. I eat everything I can, and I just can't put on weight. And you're like, okay, how many calories do you eat? And they're like, oh, I don't really track it, but trust me, I eat a lot. And you're like, okay. And then they start tracking. They're like, look, 4,000 calories today. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Keep going. Like, let's see for a week. And then there'll be 1 or 2 days and they're like, oh, it was busy at work. I only had 1,800 calories. And you're like, well, there you go. There's no consistency, right? You don't actually know what you're taking in. And just the same with people who are losing weight. They'll say, I eat so healthy. Everything I get from Whole Foods. I have a meal prep service. Like, I'm eating the healthiest food ever. And you're like, how many calories? And they're like, I don't know. I don't track it. Or these people do track it and they're like, Saturday, Sunday, I like to let loose a little bit. And you're in this deficit during the week. Maybe you're eating all these amazing things. That's great for you. And you're in a deficit of like 1,000 calories. But Saturday, Sunday comes, you're out eating anything and everything. You're going over 2,000 calories. You can easily be in a surplus for that week. And all that hard work earlier in the week can be completely neglected on the weekend. And that's where actually tracking things and tracking them accurately and really understanding how much you're intaking is going to allow you to actually make intelligent changes to make sure you're losing weight or gaining weight depending on your desired goals. And on top of that, it's important you track it well. Because if you're just tracking things generally, today we had an amazing, delicious, massive pita, chicken Slovakia pita, which was phenomenal. It's easy just to go on in MyFitnessPal, chicken Slovakia pita. And even Kyle said these are all like 400 or 500 calories. They don't really fit the bill. This was a massive one, a nice big pita, not tortilla, too much Mexican food. Had some oil on it, some feta. It had a ton of chicken, 2 large chicken skewers. So I'm better than just picking this generalized 400 calorie just that says chicken pita. I'm better to go ingredient by ingredient. Put a big pita large, put a tablespoon of olive oil, put the feta, log the cucumber, log the tzatziki, log 2 large chicken skewers, and I can get a much more accurate approximation of that. And it was actually 800 calories, because if I go with that first one, I'm like, oh, it's only 400. I'm going to end up eating that 400 from other sources, and I'm going to go over in that day. And that kind of neglects the benefit of me logging, because I'm actually going to be in a surplus, not the deficit I want to be to lose weight. And I'm going to be like, why isn't this working? So if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. And it's really important you're aware of how many calories you're eating, so you can manipulate that number to directly see your goals.
Yeah, and I even shared a Reels recently where I was saying, like, if you're not using measuring cups and food scales, like, at least when you have control, you're going to be unfortunately misguided. Like, an example would be peanut butter. So, like, the amount of people that will look at and just say, oh, I only had 1 tablespoon, like, without actually weighing, and it'd be like 3 or 4 of them, and they just had like a couple hundred extra calories. They're not going to see results. It's going to be a lot harder. But for this next one, of course, like, this is where you do have to keep this in mind. Like, it is a long-term journey. A lot of people try too hard to be perfect, and when they're not, they end up just like throwing their nutrition out the window. So for Josh's example, like, it's so easy for someone to say, well, I don't know what this is, like, I'm not sure, and then they don't log, and then they're just like overwhelmed, and they say, oh, well, tomorrow's a new day, and then like tomorrow comes, and then something else happens, and then you say, oh, I'll start next week. So I see a very common mistake where people are making kind of the right decisions. They started to use the tracking app. They start to try to weigh things out as much as possible, but then because some specific event came up, because they weren't aware of what was at a restaurant, because maybe they even went over by 200 calories, which is going to happen, they just decide to say, you know what, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to try again the next time. And it's just a constant up and down, and you never end up making progress. So the key thing here is you do want to aim for progression, not perfection. But if something does deter you, or if something does happen, like, jump back on the wagon. Like, don't beat yourself up. Don't give up. I just see a lot of people making this common mistake. So that's going to be the last nutrition mistake that you really have to avoid. There's obviously a ton of them, and we have a lot of directed episodes for this, but I find a lot of people are in this specific scenario. So you want to avoid doing this.
Yeah, we want to share the most common mistakes, so the things we really see holding individuals back, and for you to overcome them. And like I always like to say, I see fitness as like a stool. If you're sitting down on a 3-legged stool, you're sitting quite nicely. If I take 1 leg off, it's going to be a little bit sketch. If I take 2 off, you're going to fall right on your butt. So it's really important you optimize for these 3 areas. And you might say, my nutrition's perfect, coach. That's not the problem. Well, now we're going to talk about the next part of the stool, which is training. And the first biggest mistake we see that's hindering progress is going too easy on yourself. And there are so many forms of this. So I think one of the worst things you can do is giving yourself a one less mentality. So an example of this is the second you start to say, oh, feel like, I just feel a little tired today. I'm going to skip the gym. I'll go tomorrow. You start doing that. Or, I worked hard yesterday. I'm going to do a couple less exercises, and I'm just going to go on the treadmill today. This is like a cancerous mindset. You need to cut that out, because you start giving into that. You're always going to look for reasons to do less, to self-justify, to water down your workouts, to be on your phone while you do it. And instead, when you make a promise to yourself, you make that agreement, you sign that contract, I'm going to do this workout today. You have a routine in place. You get in there, you do it, and you push yourself. You do a weight that challenges you. You work to your RIRs. You do all the exercises, not just the easy ones. You do the hard ones. And most importantly, you do them with intention. So you're not on your phone while you do it. You're not scrolling Instagram in between sets. You're there, you're present, you're giving it your all, you're dialed in, and you really make sure that that time counts. So it's really important that you're intentional, you're in there, you're getting after it, and you're not going easy on yourself. Even when it's hard, like, you just got to get in there and get it done.
Yeah, and next up, this is something I see very often, is just doing cardio. Like, the thing with cardio is that you feel fulfilled with it, especially if you do a sport, especially if you maybe do a class, you go for a run. Like, it does feel like you've done a lot. And don't get me wrong, it's great for your heart health, it's great for burning calories, but it's not going to get you to your goal. It's not going to help you lose fat the way that you want to, and it's not going to help you change your body composition. So I see a lot of people go down this rabbit hole, and I'm very happy to see the strength training side of things, like in gyms. Like, I went to a new gym yesterday, and I saw so many people lifting weights, like too many, which is totally fine. And then just like very few people on the cardio machines. I was like, yes, like people are getting it, but still I see like a lot of people just making that mistake of like 5 cardio sessions a week, 1 strength training, or like, 4 cardio, 0 strength training. Like you have to focus and prioritize on strength training and make sure that that's a core to your routine. And I see a lot of people crutch on cardio because it is a lot easier to go on the elliptical and just like watch a movie and like, just kind of chill out and whatnot. But if you do just only do that, you won't be happy with your overall physique. Like if 2 people lose 20 pounds and one simply loses a lot of fat and a lot of muscle, and then the other person who's been strength training and doing things properly, they lose mostly fat and maintain their muscle, they're going to be a lot happier with how they look. So the main principle here, although there are a lot of things within training and you have to make sure it's a good routine, is that you are consistently doing strength training over cardio and you're prioritizing that in your routine.
Yeah. And the last and probably the biggest training mistake I see is just doing a one-size-fits-all program, or even worse, no program at all. Just doing what you feel like that day, back day, see what machines are open, jump on some stuff. It's the worst when you're aimless. I've been there. I've had days where I've done that, like if I'm peaking or whatever. It does not go well, right? When you come in and you have a clear instruction of what you're trying to do, the routine has progressive overload, it's periodized, it's addressing your weak spots, it's balanced, it's encouraging because that's a massive building block towards your goal. Whereas when you water it down, it doesn't feel as good. It's easy to cut it short. It's easy to underestimate what you can do. It's harder to do more weight than you did last week and work at a weight that's actually going to push you. So it's really important you're on a routine that's custom made for you, that's pushing you to grow, that actually is causing you to grow, and that isn't just some generic made one. That's where it upsets me when people just follow other people's programs, because they'll be like, this person looks how I want to look, so I want to do their program. We all have different genetics and body compositions, and I've used this example before. We all have strengths, weaknesses, different builds to our bodies, and when you just do someone else's, you're completely neglecting your experience level, your individual goals, your strengths, your weaknesses, and that's where it needs to be something that's made for you. I might love just owning a car, like a basic sedan. It works for my lifestyle. You might have 6 kids and carry around a lot of stuff all the time and need like a minivan, right? Like every routine is just so different, and it's a different vehicle for us to get to the results we want, with different goals, different backgrounds, different experiences, injuries. So it's really essential you have one that's custom made for you.
Yeah, next up, we're going to simply talk about mindset and accountability. Before we talk about this, I did want to just let you know, working off of Josh's example there, like it does need to be customized for you. And that's something we specialize in, is when we work with people, everything is created for you, your workout routine, your nutrition protocols, and then this next category, the accountability and everything external. First link down below, no strings attached, just fill out an application. We'll get back to you and see if you're the right fit for our coaching program, and we'll guarantee your results. But this one here, this one hurts me. It is simply the portion of the mindset that a lot of people struggle with. It is being a know-it-all, like having a closed mind. And I've been paying attention to this more recently, especially like Josh and I have been doing this for 12, 13 years now. Like we have helped over 5,000 people, and I am more than happy to help someone when they have questions to ask, when they are receptive to feedback, and like I love it. I could talk about it all day, and I want to see people succeed. But I would say a lot of the people I talk to and interact with, whether it's at the sauna, recently it was this meeting I had, sometimes it's at family little functions or random barbecues where people are very close-minded. Like I'll hear remarks such as like, oh, I know what I need to do, or just like here's what I did and this is the only way I can do it. And then if I ever propose a different opportunity, maybe talk about flexible dieting, even a gentleman the other day, I was talking about walking. I was like, walking's so great. He's like, yeah, but I don't sweat enough. Like it doesn't feel like the same as my sports things and my classes. And I was trying to explain it, and it wasn't like people are just closed-minded. It wasn't hitting him. Like he didn't understand that as well. And it's because he wasn't open-minded. He wasn't thinking, oh, maybe there is another way. Or they think back to the way that 20 years ago when they lost a little bit of weight, that's how they did it. So I really, really encourage you, like no matter where you're at, be okay to learn. Like you never know, that one person in the change room, that one person you talk to could have an amazing tip that you miss out on just because you're so focused on your way and the thing that you think is working. journey. And I find it's a lot of the people who are out of shape, like the ones who've been struggling for so many years, who are just like not feeling their best, who are in this situation. Whereas like the most fit people are the ones who are like, man, I never thought about that different way of training or that different dieting style. So this alone hurts so many people on their journey. So don't be that person.
Yeah, I'm tempted to end the episode right here, because having a closed mind is just the worst thing you can do. Even to me, like, I have my beliefs about fitness and health. I have things I know to be true. That doesn't mean I won't challenge them, because to me, if something's true, it can be challenged and be proven right. And I think putting it through the ringer is always a great thing to do with any of your beliefs, any of your systems. Be willing to try things new, look at new science. And science is always evolving, as is experience. And when you close your mind off to things, it's easy to this attitude, like, it's impossible. It won't work for me. I need to be sweating more to lose fat. That's why I can't walk. And they're overlooking this amazing ability to actually do it, or overlooking a source of someone like Kyle is a wealth of knowledge who's helped be a product of 5,000 transformations. Like, we've seen people in your situation and worse situations and unimaginable situations that have still come to get results. So this is so important. And the next one kind of goes hand in hand with that. And that's like hopelessness, feeling like no matter what you do, it won't work. And like I said, a lot of the time, hopelessness comes from misapplied effort. So as I said, if you're that person that's at Whole Foods, you're ordering meal preps, you're having juice shots, you're like the epitome of health. Everything looks good, but then the weekend comes and you're crushing pizzas, you're at the clubs, and you're in this crazy surplus. Like, you might in your head legitimately believe like it doesn't work for you, like it's impossible because you're doing everything right. But you're kind of like, we'll give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. We'll overlook sometimes some of our shortcomings. So a lot of the time, if you're like, it doesn't work for me or it's impossible, it just often because you're getting in your own way, or there's something that needs to be changed. And that's where having like a coach on your side is so important, because we have blind spots. All of us have blind spots, and having someone there who can see clearly, who isn't emotionally attached and says, listen, we've got to figure this out for this weekend. Here's what we're going to do. 80-20 rule, protein fast. We're going to focus on this. During the week, we're going to have a little bit more balance, and boom, bada bing, things start to get fixed, right? So a lot of the time, it's just that you're doing things wrong, or you're on a routine that stinks. And because it stinks, you're not actually building muscle, and it's discouraging you. Like, this hopelessness, a lot of the time, it can be fixed just by taking some honest reflection and taking some new effort, or perhaps changing your outlets to what's more effective. If you listen to Monday's episode, we talked a lot about misapplied effort and sometimes how you want to do less instead of doing more. So if you've missed that, I definitely recommend checking out that episode right after this one.
Yeah, I see a lot of people so focused on their failures. And like, the reason is because, like Josh said, they just haven't really done the right stuff. Like, some people will talk to us and be like, I tried boot camps for years and I never saw change, or I did a whole 30 and I just didn't see results. And then like, I tried the keto thing and it just didn't stick. So what that's going to do to your mentality and your mindset is just think, whenever I'm going to try something, it's going to fail. And that's where when people come in and work with us, they're like, wow, like, I went to a wedding and still had cake and still enjoyed it, and I didn't gain a ton of weight and I'm seeing results. Like, they start to feel the momentum and they think, you know what, this is possible. And because they believe it's possible, it ends up being possible, and their mindset is just, it allows the momentum to carry. So just give it another shot. It has to be the right thing. And of course, I'll guarantee your results. Like, that's how confident I am. First link down below, I'll help you out. But next up is just the inconsistent effort. So Josh did a great job explaining there, like, where some people will be like Monday to Thursday, and then like the weekend's a free for all. Sometimes people are 1 week on, 1 week off. I know some that are like 1 month on, and then like it's busy season, so I'm going to take a month off. The truth is, you just have to consistently show up day after day, even if it's not perfect. Like, I need to stress that, going back to my nutrition example of trying to be perfect, just show up for yourself, even if it's not 100% and you go down to 70% for a day or a weekend. That's totally fine. It's better than going down to zero. So just inconsistency is probably the biggest killer for a lot of people's results. So don't be that person.
And the last is no accountability to it. I mean, I'm human like everyone else. I have days where I'm fired up. I can run through a wall. I want to just do anything and everything. And I have days where it's super hard, but I've been consistent. I build up discipline. So I show up for myself and I get it done. And if you're struggling to show up for yourself, and you just find like you'll have these little runs where you get motivated, you want to do it, things click, you meet an obstacle, and that just causes you to falter and quit. That's where you need accountability. You need someone on you, someone holding you accountable to your goals, helping you overcome these barriers, failures, helping you zoom out and say, hey, it's okay to fail. Let's get up. I'm going to come there, pick you up, and help you continue. And the best form of accountability is having a coach. We do online fitness coaching. So no matter what country, time zone you're in, whatever gym situation you have, whatever you do for work, no matter your obstacles, we will be there to help you walk through them and help you see results. And if you want to learn more about it, no pressure, check out the first link in the description. And this is single-handedly the best thing you can do. And the biggest mistake you can make above all these other ones is not having a coach and believing you don't deserve a coach, because you absolutely do. Anyone who wants to be elite in anything gets a coach, literally anything. If you want to be elite with your speech, you get a speech coach. If you want to be an elite basketball player, you get a shooting coach, you get a nutrition coach, you get a recovery coach. And that's where for you, if you want to be elite in your fitness, your health, your happiness, you want to be your best, strongest version of yourself for your family, for yourself, you need to invest in a coach so you can know the right avenues to take to overcome these obstacles, and so you can actually grow. And I assure you, even if you do this once in your life, you will not regret it, because you'll be able to build on that for the rest of your life. And that's going to help you grow and get to that next level. We're going to pull you up and help you see what you're capable of. And I always like to say, when you see results, you get addictive, and it gets addictive, so it's easier to advance forward from there. And we want to make that happen for you. So once again, our website is colossusfitness.com. First link down below. You can learn more about what we do, how it works, what is online coaching, and you can apply once you're ready to take that plunge. I sure hope it's now, because you deserve it. You deserve some killer results, and we guarantee our results are your money back. So you have nothing to lose. So if you're serious, let's get in shape together. But thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.